Great. Welcome to Digital Asset News. My name is Rob. And today the big story is the Ethereum merge went off without a hitch. And there's some pretty big and good things happening. But in reality, was it that big of a thing? And I got to tell you, right now, it feels like there's a Ethereum hangover. So we're going to take a look at exactly what happened, how this is actually pretty positive, how well it actually went. And then we're going to take a look at some things to remember. First of all, the big thing is buy the rumor, sell the news. We'll talk about how early we are, and we really have to take a look at what the real utility is. And then we'll finish up, talk about a little Cardano Vasil upgrade, which is only 7 days away. And also, Celsius is gearing up for some paybacks and what this means in October. So we'll tell you exactly what to do. So first things first, this was the Ethereum merge. And yesterday, everybody was losing their minds. I swear, it felt like there was just this huge anticipation of what was going to happen. People didn't know if it was going to go off without a hitch. Was there going to be airdrops? Was there going to be just this massive positivity, or was it going to be just a big, huge dud? And I got to tell you, it went off pretty well. But if you haven't been paying attention, this is kind of what happened. So the very first proof of stake block of transaction is finalized with a nearly 100% client participation rate. This was by far the best case scenario. And as I take a look at everything across the board, it looks like everything's going off pretty smoothly. There may be some small fires there that the team is putting out, but so far running well. Does that just mean that everything can go off perfectly forever? No. But it did do a lot of good things. And there's this quote here that 9 teams and more than 100 developers worked on the merge for years. I got to tell you, that's amazing. I tip my hat to the Ethereum Foundation to actually make this actually go through. And this, of course, was why it was such a big deal for a lot of people. Last week, White House put that report out about climate change. And that was the President Joe Biden's administration as they took a look at cryptos and digital assets. And the big thing was that there's a lot of electricity use. They didn't really like that. And of course, now with Ethereum saying we're going from proof of work to proof of stake, the optics are pretty good. And if you can go to institutions and big pocket investors and go, look, we don't use a ton of electricity. I know you guys are big on ESG, even though I don't really think you believe in it, but that doesn't matter because that's what you guys are telling your shareholders. Don't sue me. So they're like, great, now we can get into Ethereum. I think that was a pretty good as far as like the optics, what's going on. Now, of course, no more proof of work, all the proof of stake for Ethereum. And there was two quotes I found that pretty much sums it all up. This is Spirodano. What happened? ETH now spends 99.95% less energy. It's more secure. Okay. Increased scalability. And it's more secure. I don't know. Debatable. A slight skew towards deflation. That's a big word. What did not happen? Gas prices did not decrease. Transactions do not go faster. And you did not get an airdrop. I know people were thinking that, hey, there might be a big fork and I get a bunch of airdrops. I think people really bought into that. And they bought a lot of Ethereum. And now, of course, we'll take a look at the price in a second. But might be good in the long run. And this was also interesting. Nixtoshi says, stakers are the new miners. They now receive all new ETH and transaction fees. And that's just something to remember. It's amazing, right? A whole industry just goes away. All the miners, all the money that they spend on those rigs, now they can go someplace else and they can mine different proof of work tokens, coins, whatever. But unfortunately, I don't think it's as lucrative as Ethereum was. I could be wrong. I'm not a miner. This is just the things that I've heard from other miners. Tell me in the comment section. ETH's carbon footprint goes down. Great. And this was 2 interesting parts. GPU prices go down. And NVIDIA loses one of its main sources of growth, which that's a bummer, unless you're Nancy Pelosi and you can get out of those trades. Hey, tokenomics look better due to less inflation and potential deflation. There's that word again, deflation. There's a great website I want everybody to check out. A link in the description. It's called ultrasound.money. And you can see right here, the supply changed since the merge. Negative 231 ETH. Negative 231 ETH. So just think about that. So we know that Bitcoin is sound money, right? Because it has a finite supply, not scarce, finite, 21 million. But imagine this, with Ethereum going down, decreasing, then potentially a lot of people locking it up, 32 ETH for staking rewards. And also the institutions coming in and buying up like at some point, crazy, who knows? Maybe this could be one of the biggest fantastic plays moving forward. I'm not for sure, but for all the things that we know about it, here's what the price did. Wah, wah. Does the price mean that that reflects the actual project? No, but it just goes to show you there's some things to remember, which is this. Macro is still a big part. You still got the Fed meeting coming up. We're looking at, next week, September 20th and 21st. They're probably going to raise 75 basis points. If they raise 100 basis points, watch out. That will be, that'll take the markets for a little bit of tanking. There's issues with electricity. There's issues with wars. There's issue with the inflation. So even with all those things, it's kind of tough to get Ethereum to go, we want to invest all into that. I think people are still pricing in potentially a more negative slide. And then the bigger thing I want you to remember is this. Every time I hear that phrase, buy the rumor, sell the news, I'm like, maybe it's not going to be like that this time. Maybe people just understand that this is going to be the next big thing, and they're going to get into it. And if they buy into it now, they're going to get in a very low price. And then as time goes on, they're going to be making out like gangbusters. They're going to be multimillionaires and billionaires. So why wouldn't they buy right now? I thought the exact same thing in 2017 and 2018. And here we are. So just remember that we're still very early, and we have to really take a look at the real utility. And some people will say, well, Bitcoin is utility and Ethereum is utility, and look at everything that's built on it. True. There may be some utility, but is this affecting billions of people? Are nations using it? Is there one super app that's out there? And if there is, please let me know in the comment section, because right now it's just a lot of speculation. And that's pretty much what's going on. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section. That'll be great. And let's move on to Cardano and Vasil upgrade. So this is going to happen in 7 days, as I think people may have remembered this or not. But again, the question I have for you is this. Actually, it's not a question. I'm just going to say it like this. It's always a buy the rumor, sell the news, just about. Always a buy the rumor, sell the news. If you think Cardano is going to go up in the next 7 days, you might be right, unless there's some big macro event. But I think that after that, price will probably go down again. Does that mean that Cardano is a failed project because the price goes down? No. Same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum fundamentally is going to be great. I think it's going to do big things. I think there's a lot of positivity. But in the short term, with all the things that are going on, I don't expect this to hit all-time highs, to go beyond that. I think it's going to be a bumpy ride. And this bear market is for building. So, or as I call it, build a bear. So just so you know, Vasil, I always say it wrong, is the most significant Cardano upgrade to date, bringing increased network capacity and lower cost transactions. Excuse me. The upgrade will also bring enhancements to Plutus to enable delves to create more powerful and efficient blockchain-based applications. I think it's kind of boring from there. But also another big thing is the pipelining to increase the throughput, the transactions per second, which everybody's big on. So I'm all for that. We'll see what happens in the next, 7 days. But I will say this. There was some interesting piece of information. This is the updated top crypto projects by the number of active GitHub contributors. Look at the top two. Cardano, Ethereum, Polkadot, Kusama, probably Polkadot, Filecoin, really crazy. Status, ICP, Cosmos, okay. Decentraland, Solana, Flow, Near, Token, Chia, Gnosis. I just want you to pay attention to the projects that continue to build in the bear market, because those projects are the ones that you probably want to look at as we start to head into a bull market. And just because we're in a bear market right now doesn't mean we don't change force at some way, shape, or form at some point in time. These do not last forever. Prices don't go up forever, and prices don't go down forever. But just take a look at the people and the projects and the organizations that are building right now, because those are the ones that are going to crush it in the bull. So anyhow, that takes care of that little piece. And then let's finish up with another update with Celsius. So Celsius, I got this email this morning, and we did a video about Celsius yesterday. But just so you know, it says here, we expect to begin the claims process. That's good. At this time, the proof of claim form is not yet available, and the claims bar date, which is the deadline to file a claim, has not been yet set. So what do you have to do? I'll tell you in a second. In the next few days, we'll be emailing you detailed instructions on how to participate. Our next court appearance, October 6th and 7th. At the October 7th hearing, we hope to advance discussions regarding the reopening of withdrawals for certain of our custody, and withhold account holders. I don't know why they want to advance the discussions. Here's the discussions. Would you guys like your crypto back? Yes, we would. Okay, that sounds good. Let's go forward with that. That sounds like advancing discussions. That's just me, though. But they put out this nice little video to explain it, and it's about a minute long, and I'll let you listen to it. I got to tell you, I have to stop the video every so often to explain some things because it might not make sense. But actually, no, I'll just let it just go through all the way, and you're smart enough. We can figure it out at the end. I'll just put in my 2 cents at the very end. Let me stop the screen real quick. Let me share the tab. So we're all looking at the same thing. All right, take a listen.
First, Celsius will be filing the schedules of assets and liabilities with the court, which will include the amount we believe are owed to each of our individual customers and creditors at the time we filed our Chapter 11 cases. It's important to note that the amount will reflect account balances for all customers at the moment Celsius filed for Chapter 11 on July 13th, 2022. This may be different than the account balance that currently appears in your Celsius account for a variety of reasons.
Okay, I do got to stop it right there because you're probably saying to yourself, why would there be a discrepancy in between what is in the app, what I'm going to get paid, and what you guys actually have? So first you have to remember that, and it's going to talk about this a little bit later in the video, but it's going to talk about crypto, not dollar amounts. Because I know some people are going to say, well, like, hold on, is it the price that I had for 1 Bitcoin on July 13th, or are you going to give me back my 1 Bitcoin? And from what this looks like, as it's splayed out here, it is in kind. So if you had 1 Bitcoin, you get 1 Bitcoin back. 1 Ethereum or 10 Ethereum, whatever else it is, you get that crypto back. And the next part where it talked about there might be some discrepancies. Remember those emails we kept getting, which you would say like, oh, congratulations, you just earned more crypto. They're probably not going to give you that crypto that was sitting in your account and you were earning on it. They're just going to say, no, sorry, it's not going to work like that. I'm cool with that. Keep it, whatever you guys do, and give it to the people that need to get their money back. Because let's be honest, I could, on that part, I'll cede to it and say, that's fine. I don't need to get those things back. All right, let's keep going.
Shortly after that, customers will be notified that they are able to request that their full and specific scheduled claim details be sent to their Celsius account email address. Exact details on how to request that information from Stretto will be provided to you. At the same time, Celsius will be preparing to file a motion to establish a date by which any and all claims need to be filed with Stretto. This is called the bar date. Stretto will send instruction to customers' Celsius account email address once the motion is approved and the bar date is set. We expect this communication, which will clearly state any deadlines, to be sent in October. At that time, a modified electronic claim form specific to crypto assets will be available. It will be designed to simplify how our customers file claims. If customers agree with the information in the schedules filed by Celsius with respect to their respective accounts, they will not need to file a claim and no further action would be required at that time. However, should customers disagree with their respective scheduled amounts or otherwise wish to file a proof of claim, they will be able to do that in advance of the bar date deadline. Customers will receive a legal notice and comprehensive instructions on how to do so from Stretto. There will also be an option on the updated claim form for customers to indicate if they're...
All right. So that's pretty much it. So it looks like to me, again, like there's a time frame. They're looking to pay some of it back. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the custody, not the earn. And again, what they talked about there as far as the crypto and the digital assets. Again, it sounds like you don't have to do anything. They're going to send you an email to say, this is what we have in your account. Do you agree with that or not? If you do agree with it, you don't have to do anything. If you do not agree with the amount that's in there, you're like, hey, wait, I had 100 Bitcoin. What the heck happened? You only said I got 10. Then, of course, there's going to be instructions for you to go down the road. The same thing happens with Voyager, and mine was correct. So we'll see how that goes out. And that's what's going on. I know it's not the most, it's a step in the right direction. And for these days, that's all I can really hope for. And that takes care of the news. So look, if you like today's video, thumbs up, consider subscribing, all that good stuff. But now we'll get into the Q&A, and I'll answer all your questions to the best of my ability. If you got to take off, get out of here. I appreciate you stopping by. And that's it for the news. Let's jump into a little Q&A, my favorite part. Let me get rid of